right, I'm just looking at my notes here, so y'all excuse me from looking away from the camera. I'm not gonna edit this out anymore because y'all just need to see I'm trying to give you some of this information, right? So the other thing is yeah, so this is from the LIMRA 2022 Insurance Barometer Study. Life insurance premiums increased by 21% in the second quarter of 2021. This is the largest over-year increase since the third quarter of 1987. So when they're talking about that, what are they mentioning? I don't know. Now, another thing that's interesting is more and more people are likely to purchase life insurance through the internet. They're more likely to get advice about life insurance through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the above. That's why I gave you guys that information on how to decipher what you're looking at and how to assess what is the right type of insurance for you, right? But then there's also a couple of myths that I want to address. And one in particular that's very, very important. For the stay-at-home spouse, it used to be said that the only person that needs to get life insurance is the breadwinner. That is a lie. Let me tell you why. I know a story of a gentleman who was the breadwinner. His wife was a stay-at-home mom, and the advice they received was she didn't need life insurance because she didn't bring in money, so there's no income replacement, so there's no, she didn't need it. In other words, she wasn't valuable. The husband agreed to it. She agreed to it. At no fault to themselves, because this was conventional wisdom at the time. But guess what happened? The husband wasn't the first one to pass away. The wife was. Freakish accident. I don't remember how she passed away. I just remember she passed away. This is what I found out, though. This wasn't a client of mine. This was somebody else's. So basically what ended up happening is the husband had to take time off to take care of everything that was going on with the family at the time. Obviously, he wanted to go through the process of burying his wife properly, taking care of the kids properly. But anyways, what ended up happening is the time frame that he had off, and then he had to go back to work so he could make more money to keep up the lifestyle that he once had. He wasn't ready to go back to work. And because he wasn't ready to go back to work, it created a conflict where basically he was in potential of getting fired, right? Or losing his job. So he went back to work begrudgingly, and he didn't mourn properly. Even more importantly, even though he was making money, he couldn't keep up the lifestyle because he didn't have his counterpart at home taking care of the things that she used to take care of. So I guess you could say, and I'm speaking for him now, I don't know if this part is true, but her value became more evident in her absence. But here's what I do know that happened. He ended up having a sort of a mental breakdown. He was overwhelmed by grief, by despair, by depression. He ended up walking away from his job anyway. They downsized the house, and they ended up finding somewhere else to move. Well, yeah, obviously, because they downsized the house. So my point is that even though he was the breadwinner, he still needed a peace of mind when he goes back to work, right? Because with her being gone, it wasn't just his expenses anymore. It wasn't just the same expenses. It was now he had to pay for a nanny. Now he had to look into extra things to do for his kids while he's not there. Then he also had to worry about, you see what I'm saying, right? Therapy and all those type of things. Now, if there was life insurance in place, not to say that this would have replaced her, but it would have added to the transition of life to where it could have been maintained a little bit longer. Or if he needed to take a longer break, he could have, because at least he would have had some savings to live off of, right? So that's kind of what I'll mention when it comes to that. But what we're gonna do real quick, ladies and gentlemen, is we're gonna take a quick break because I got something to show you. All right. So what I wanted to do real quick, you guys, is I wanted to come and take a moment and have a break for the book of the day. And I like to do this because you may not like anything that I say. You may not learn anything from me, but there's one thing you are going to do. You want to get a book from me. And I want to make this more consistent. So the book of the day today is Doing Business by the Good Book. Now, this is by David L. Stewart. Now, the reason why this is important, check this out, y'all. Hassani, why you choose this book? I chose this book because there was a time in my career where I didn't have a good relationship with money. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I was part of that group where, making money, there was a lot of negative connotations with it. I felt bad if I wanted a lot because I thought that made me greedy or a bad guy. I had that kind of relationship with money. Although I still did like making it, I just kind of felt guilty. And so what I did is I searched for examples of people that made money, quote unquote, the good way. Because so many times when we hear about money, it's promoted through drugs, it's promoted through gangs, it's promoted through, I had to step on somebody's neck, I had to kill somebody, I had to screw somebody over. Like that side of money is promoted so much that becomes an image of money. And what I've learned in my journey is that's just one side. That's not the image of money by no means, right? The image of money can take on so many different faces. And one of those faces is, it is possible to make money and be a good person. It is possible to make money and be happy. It is possible to make money and still be spiritual. Because I was also guilty of thinking that you can't make money and be spiritual. It's kind of like, if you spiritual, you broke. That image was in my head. Like, if I'm a spiritual person, I'm a hermit in a cave or in a forest, right? I'm not a person that has a connection to God like that. So I was willing to sacrifice my connection so that I can live and be of the world. And I don't know if anybody else has ever felt that way, but so what I did is I searched in the Bible, the Christian Bible, to look for examples of characters or people or leaders that were wealthy and made money and were still, people of God. Like David and Solomon, and especially Solomon being the richest man in the world at that time. And so this book is amazing because what David L. Stewart, Doing Business by the Good Book. Basically what he did is he took biblical principles, 52 lessons to be specific, okay? He took biblical principles, 52 lessons of success straight from the Bible. Now, the reason why this is important is because David L. Stewart is a billionaire. He's a black brother, billionaire, founded a tech company. Now, when you hear 52 principles straight from the Bible, well, the other thing is you might think, oh, turn the other cheek, be meek and mild. No, he actually talks about seeking the heat. He talks about confronting problems. He talks about being an entrepreneur or having an entrepreneurial spirit. He talked about things that I saw as things of power, things of mission, things of inspiration, things that help you go get stuff, right? So he talked about accountability. He talked about support a spouse. He talked about how to balance the life of your wife or your spouse and your business. So all these different things. And again, he's a Christian, heavy duty Christian, but he's a billionaire. So I thought that was amazing. And it's a great example of showing you or just giving you another example of what it looks like to make money that's not been one of those routes that's been promoted in the media, right? Because he doesn't get as much promotion or examples as everybody else does. But why did I choose this and how does it relate to leveraging money? Well, one of the most basic things that you could ever do in life when it comes to leverage is you can leverage someone else's experience to propel yourself forward. And the way he talks about dealing with problems, confrontation, confidence, planning, the way you think, thinking big, like all these different things. He talks about how to deal with all that. And so you literally watch his journey and see how it applied in his business and what he did with it. So he's not just talking at you, but he's giving you examples of what he went through, what he did, and how he was able to overcome it and live out these principles to build his empire. So I think that's powerful, and the name of his company is below. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up this podcast episode because, frankly, I got excited and I jumped ahead. I was supposed to give y'all the book, and then I was supposed to give you guys a solution of what types of insurances are out there and how they work, but I already did that. So, yeah, I'm actually planning this out. This is crazy. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and recap for you. As you know, there are different types of insurance. You have your term insurance, like you're renting, right? And then you have your permanent insurance, like you're owning. And because of that, permanent insurance comes with more maintenance, more liability, more responsibility. Therefore, it costs more upfront. And then also remember, there are levels to insurance. Levels to insurance. The first level is just to bury yourself and take care of the plot, take care of the burial expense. The second level is to pass on wealth or replace your income, make sure your family can maintain their lifestyle. The third level is estate planning. So when we say estate planning, you're talking about passing on large assets, minimizing estate tax. That's what estate planning is. So you're using life insurance to help minimize estate tax for the next generation. And then of course, the fourth level is utilizing life insurance for leverage. So that's what I wanted to give you guys. Oh, and if you don't know how to use it for leverage, go check out some of my other videos where we talk about infinite banking, where your money could be growing in the account and you borrow against the principal and yet the principal is still there and you have the money in your hand. Now you have your money in two places at the same damn time. All right. Shout out to my boy Future. Anyway, so with that being said, y'all, that's all we got for today. Once again, I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode. Peace and blessings. Talk to you later. Did you like what you heard? Did you like what we were talking about? Well, if you did, do me a favor. Hit the like button, right? But if you want to hear more about these type of conversations where we could talk more about money, mindset, and more, well then do me even bigger favor. Hit the subscribe button, right? And we're going to go into more details about leverage, all these different type of ways that you can get wealthy. These are the type of conversations that we want to normalize, and you'll even catch some interviews. So thank you very much for tuning in. Feel free to explore our channel to find more videos like this.